Have you ever noticed how some people, no matter how old they become, seem to glow with a kind of timeless youth? Their faces may have lines, yes, but there's a light behind their eyes, an ease, a softness, a freshness that makes them appear younger than their years. And then there are others, sometimes very young, whose faces already look tired and burdened, as though life has weighed too heavily on them. Why does this happen? Why do some people seem to age slower? Not only in body, but in spirit. The answer has less to do with skincare or diet and far more to do with the state of one's consciousness. Aging is not merely a physical process. It is a reflection of how we live, how tightly we hold on to things, how much resistance we carry, how often we forget to simply breathe. Most people grow old because they live with constant inner tension. They are always trying to be someone, to get somewhere, to hold on to something. The mind, endlessly striving, tightens the body. The muscles contract, the breath shortens, and the whole being becomes a kind of psychological armor against life. Over time, that tension shows itself in the face, in the eyes, in the lines, in the way a person walks. The body becomes a mirror of the mind. When the mind is anxious, the body grows weary. When the heart is heavy, the face hardens. But when the mind is light and the heart is at ease, something remarkable happens. The body begins to reflect that inner peace. Even modern science has begun to confirm this. Chronic stress accelerates aging by shortening what biologists call telomeres, the protective ends of our DNA strands. When we live in constant fear, anger, or pressure, these telomeres degrade faster, leading to physical aging. Yet those who live with joy, gratitude, or deep acceptance show slower cellular aging. Their biochemistry mirrors their psychology. Calmness literally becomes youthfulness. In other words, the body listens to the mind. So when you meet someone who looks younger than their age, you are often seeing someone whose inner state is free of unnecessary tension. They may not have avoided difficulty in life. In fact, often it's the opposite. But they've learned to flow with it instead of fight it. They've learned to let go, and in that surrender, life seems to renew them from within. You can see this everywhere. Two people may face the same hardship, loss, disappointment, change, and yet one grows bitter while the other becomes wise. One tightens and withers, the other softens and glows. The difference lies in resistance. When we resist life, we build invisible walls within ourselves. We hold grudges, replay old arguments, regret, and worry. Each of these acts creates a subtle tension, not only in the mind, but also in the breath, the muscles, and the energy of the body. Over time, this resistance becomes visible. The face loses its vitality, the eyes lose their sparkle. We age not because time passes, but because we cling too tightly to what time has already taken. Those who seem younger than their years have discovered, consciously or not, the art of non-resistance. They have learned to meet life as it is, to laugh at its chaos, to forgive its imperfections, to remain flexible when the winds of change blow. Their lives are not easier. They simply don't waste energy fighting what cannot be fought. From a deeper perspective, this youthfulness holds spiritual meaning. In the East, particularly in Taoism and Zen, there is a concept of returning to the child. Lao Tzu once said, "The softest thing in the world overcomes the hardest." The newborn, though fragile, is full of life, flexible, spontaneous, curious, and unguarded. As we grow, we lose that softness. We learn fear, pride, comparison, ambition, all the things that create inner rigidity. But the truly awakened person reverses this process. They grow young again, not in body, but in spirit. They rediscover playfulness and curiosity. They find wonder in small things: the sound of rain, the shimmer of light on water, the laughter of a friend. When that happens, the body follows the spirit. The lines of the face soften. The eyes regain that brightness only innocence can give. This is what the mystics meant when they said, "Be as a child to enter the kingdom of heaven." They weren't speaking of age, but of openness, the ability to live without the constant burden of fear and control. It is the ego that ages us, the constant need to prove, defend, and achieve. The ego is always tense, always on duty, forever afraid of judgment, failure, and death. That fear drains the vitality from the body. But when you see through the illusion of ego, when you realize there's nothing to prove and nothing to conquer, you begin to relax. And that relaxation isn't laziness. It's harmony. It is the spirit and the body falling back into rhythm with existence itself. When you are no longer at war with life, your energy no longer leaks through conflict. It circulates freely, nourishing every cell and every breath. This is why people who live with genuine awareness often seem younger than their years. Their faces are unguarded, their eyes are clear, their laughter is easy. They have stopped carrying what is unnecessary. Youthfulness, you see, has very little to do with the number of years you've walked this earth, and everything to do with the weight you carry while walking. When you let go of resentment, you grow lighter. When you forgive, you soften. When you stop worrying about how things should be and start accepting them as they are, your entire being breathes again. Life is not trying to make us old. It is trying to teach us how to live without resistance. Growing older is inevitable, but growing rigid and closed is not. The person who remains curious, kind, playful, and unburdened does not merely look young. They remain young in essence. When you meet someone who seems untouched by time, glowing even in middle age or beyond, you are witnessing someone who lives in harmony with life itself. They have made peace with impermanence. They have stopped grasping for every moment. And in doing so, they have learned how to truly live it. Spiritually speaking, the secret is simple. Youth is not lost through age. It is lost through seriousness. When you take life too seriously, it stiffens you. When you play with it, it rejuvenates you. The awakened understand that laughter is a form of wisdom, that joy itself is enlightenment, and that peace is the deepest anti-aging secret. You cannot buy this kind of youth. To look younger than your age is not merely a gift of genetics or luck. It is a reflection of the soul's harmony with life. When you stop fighting, you start flowing. When you stop grasping, you start glowing. The skin may wrinkle, but the spirit that shines through it never fades. The body may age, but consciousness remains eternally fresh. When that freshness is allowed to shine through, even the oldest eyes look young again. So if you wish to keep your youth, do not cling to time. Learn to live timelessly. Be present. Be gentle, be alive. For the body follows the heart, and the heart follows the spirit. And the spirit, my friends, never grows old.